even though Anila said that I should talk about Guru devotion, it's a very, I don't know whether I'm using right word or not, very sophisticated topic, very, at the same time, very crucial, very important. And in fact, in Buddhist teaching, it's regarded the root of the enlightenment, or the foundation for all the good qualities, foundation of all the realizations after full enlightenment. So, yeah, Guru is something very important figure in our spiritual development. And Guru Yoga practice or the Guru devotion practice, it play one of the major role in our spiritual development. But then again, in order for us to, in order one person to give lecture about it, or just give, just keep talking all the importance of these practices and importance of reliance on the Guru, and the qualities of the Guru and the qualities of these disciples sometimes can be quite stressful. So I think this subject, Guru devotion, I personally feel it is best way for us to come to a point that we accept, we understand, and we feel comfortable based on discussion, interactive kind of question and answer, debate, through this kind of interactive session. I think the conviction in conviction in Guru, the theory of Guru, or theory of having Guru in our spiritual practice, or the concept of understanding that Guru play the major role in our spiritual development. I think that way we can understand. We can feel easier to accept this understanding. So maybe I should just take some questions and we see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it better than to have one Guru, one teacher, or several men?
Guru, I think it's very much depend on your own ability of how many figure of Guru that you can devote. Like Lama Atisha, one of the great example, 157 gurus. I mean, there's a few different numbers, it's 150, 157, 156, whatever, but it's a lot of gurus. And he able to devote exactly the way that the Lamrim, in the Lamrim, the Guru devotion section, how the Guru disciple should engage, all the characteristics are all applied and successfully able to practice and gain all the benefits, achieving enlightenment within a very short period of time, without breaking any of this samaya, relying on the gurus, even one guru, But then again, if we don't have that kind of ability to devote so many, then better to focus one. And in order to rely too many gurus, we also need to have a sense of the capacity of our mind, that we're able to listen different versions of presenting teachings, because many different gurus, they may have their own different lineage, and they may provide different type of commitments, or different ways of practices, and sometimes you may find it is kind of like contradicting or clash, the like based on like timings and yeah, etc. So so if you're able to apprehend all the different perspectives and can able to fulfill all the duties, then why not? Otherwise, better to focus on one. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Geshe, if your principal guru has passed away, and in my situation this has happened, and then I've been ordained by his chosen successor, and he's now regarded as my abbot, I feel slight confusion as to should I continue to recite the prayer of, calling the guru from afar as I used to with Rinpoche, and now I wonder, should I be switching to Geshe?
I think guru can manifest into different, all sort of manifestations. Maybe even though you are so-called as a root guru, pass away, and his heart disciple is providing teachings and or facilitating, such as granting vows, etc. From your point of view, you should just regard him as a manifestation of your root guru.
Thank you. Yes.
And yeah, and there will be a certain point that maybe there's no external guru exist, and that's why I have this very strong kind of urgency that every one of us, I think, necessary to find inner guru rather than relying too much on external guru. Guru has many different versions, outer guru, inner guru, secret guru, or you can say many different type of gurus. At the end of the day, it is a figure of our inspiration for enlightenment. So that is the guru, and it can come into all different forms, all different aspects, and among all those different aspects, the safest, the guru, to whom you can rely from this very moment onward until we have actualized the full enlightenment, I think is the inner guru is the safest. The moment we start to rely too much on external guru, the moment guru pass away, you feel like lost. The transmission of the guidance is like stop, and that shouldn't be the case. And most of all, one of the purpose of practicing Buddhism is prepare for a good death. To secure, if we can able to enlighten ourselves within this very short lifetime, number one, best. But if this unable to do so, then at least we have to make sure we secure our next rebirth to continue our practices. Because the progress of practices very much depend on the influence influence by our imprints, influence by the environment, influence of the continuation of the virtuous mind. And while having this precious human rebirth, meeting Guru, meeting Buddha Dharma, and living among the Dharma society, living among the Dharma brothers and sisters, and surrounded by tangas, statues, and sanghas, still, majority of our mind is completely afflicted by the negative emotions. Our mind is, when we really look into our own mind and check, even though we may be dedicating certain number of hours for sadhanas or meditations or helping others or try to deal with your own negative emotions, but then when you you thoroughly calculate, almost 99, for me it's maybe almost 100%. But in many cases, maybe 95% or 90% is completely dominated by afflictive emotion. You know? So I feel like I'm going back. Okay. So okay, better. So you see. So yeah, it's the majority of our time and in particular our consciousness, our perceptions are completely dominated by afflictive emotions, negative emotions, anxiety, fear, anger, attachment, grasping, jealousy, ego, you know. Don't talk about ignorance, that is like full time there. Even those, the secondary afflictive emotions are completely kind of like surrounded our daily life. They never let go. So imagine, if we born into lower realm such as hungry ghosts, now you can imagine what would be the situation. 100% of our time, our mind will be completely dominated by negative emotion. If applying the reason of while having this human rebirth, while surrounded by so many virtuous environment, still our mind is so much controlled or run by the negative emotion, it's quite 100% sure when we born into low realm, the surrounding is far more intense of negative environment. First of all, the suffering, the consistent suffering. You know, like in animal realm, the suffering of ignorant. You know, they may, even though like the pets, you know, they look so happy and so kind of contented and so secure, but we don't know the suffering of ignorance could be extremely intense, or they may be spending their rest of their time the neutral mind, no virtues, no negative, but just because of born in the animal realm, the immediate karma that which throw to the immediate result in the future lifetime would be animal or low realm. So therefore, if we cannot become Buddha within this lifetime, and it is one of the most crucial job as a Buddhist practitioner, make sure we secure our next rebirth, to be born as a precious human rebirth. So now, in order to do that, based on the teachings and based on our own little experience, you know, through our practices in Buddha Dharma, that in order for us to awaken with positive mind or positive day, it is very, very much necessary for us to sleep with positive intention or positive mind, or even not to have nightmare, bad dreams. It is very crucial for us to have a peaceful, happy, virtuous thought during the last moment of totally go to sleep. And that process is very much similar to at the time of death. And at the time of dying, before we reach clear light mind, it is very crucial for us to have the continuation of our virtuous thoughts. So widely expressed or widely taught that at the time of dying we should meditate on emptiness in order to secure our next rebirth, you know. We should meditate on emptiness, we should meditate on bodhicitta, we should meditate on guru, we should meditate on Tara or whatever, you know. So many varieties of methods are there. But then, when how to say when you make this scenario very serious about it and think through seriously, at the time of dying, it is quite impossible for us to be able to meditate on emptiness while having no pain in our physical body, while our mind is able to generate some sense of concentration, some sense of the power of mindfulness is existent. And even then, we try to meditate on emptiness, somehow quite difficult to focus more than a few seconds. And the object of meditation disappeared. All sort of disturbing thoughts come in, and we cannot proceed meditation on emptiness, no longer than 1 minute maybe. And that the process of death can be maybe many days, or can be maybe 1 minute, or whatever it is. We have to make sure we're secure with the consistent continuation of virtuous mind. But here, well, we are so healthy, and our mind is like fully directed to able to concentrate on such kind of practice, but still we cannot succeed. And how are we going to succeed at the time of dying? And at the time of dying, we are completely in the process of the death process, which is the dissolution of all the different elements. When the earth element dissolves, all the muscle loosen. And when we age, we can understand, our focus become lesser, our body get more pain. This is a natural kind of process of going through the death process. Death process don't come just right at the time of death. The moment you take birth, already start. You see? So, when our muscle is loosened, when our blood flow is slowed down, and that naturally affect the blood cells, their function, and naturally get tired, exhausted. So now imagine at the time of dying, our body is completely exhausted. And in many cases, most of the time, we are under the suffering of sicknesses. When we are aging, when we are about to die, most of the time we are affected by some sort of sicknesses. Can be stomach pain, toothache, or maybe cancer, or maybe what you call Alzheimer, or whatever. All sort of different kind of diseases may be attacking us. On top of that, our consciousness, our mind is completely dominated by the hallucinations. In our healthy mind now, while we are listening Buddha's teaching, our mind is already wondering about pizza, or maybe something else, or maybe tomorrow's worry is already attacking in. But then at the time of death process, it's kind of a natural process where the hallucination naturally arises in. Where there's no fire, as if like an entire body or entire your house is like burning by fire. Where there's no water around your bed, but as if like entire ocean is kind of like coming on you. Like as if like if you are in a tsunami. Did I say the right word? Tsunami? Mm-hmm. What do you feel? Fear or relax? Sure, fear. And the hallucination of such kind of tsunami is billions and billions and billions times more scary than the actual tsunami that we can experience at the ocean. You see, so just on the process of dissolution of the four elements itself is so scary. And how could we able to, okay, my grammar, I don't know whether I'm saying right thing or not. How could we able to meditate or concentrate or direct our mind to focus on emptiness? It is quite not possible. For me, it's not possible. For you, may be possible. I had that discussion in Blue Mountain, one of very senior practitioner, and he says, for him, maybe possible. Yes, maybe some of great practitioners, long-time practitioners, maybe 60, 70, 80 years of consistent, everyday meditating on emptiness, and that influence, yes, may be, even how distracted your emotion may be, still you can able to focus by the force of habituation of your meditation in so many years in the past. But that is uncertain to anybody. I have to prepare my death now, because my death could be maybe on this seat next moment, or maybe tomorrow, or maybe fortunately another 60 years later, so that I can practice more, so that I will be more habituated, so that maybe that meditation, that habituation able to help me at the time of dying. But how about if my turn comes tomorrow morning, before even reaching 41 years old? And when I trace back how much I put my effort, meditation on emptiness or any of the other practices, yeah, maybe I become monk for the past 30 years. But then you calculate how much concentration you have provided for your practice. I need to think so much. At the end of the day, maybe less than 1 hour. The full, dedicated, concentrated kind of practice, maybe less than 1 hour. Your life is just all mixed up. Labeled as a practitioner, but somehow time passes and you have nothing to hold. But then we need something, but we cannot handle the complicated one. Complicated. Say complicated? We cannot handle the complicated. Maybe I'm too big mouth to say we. I cannot handle the complicated teaching to apply at the time of difficult time. And the most difficult time is at the time of death. So I think through it. I'm searching this, how to handle. So it come out some little solution. It has helpful for me, and I label that as an inner guru. No physical, it's the inner guru. And that inner guru can be in any form, but for me it's just one moment of feeling, just a feel. That drive from some kind of incident, and that incident brings to that particular feeling or the feel. It is so joyous, it is so peaceful, and it is just the only one antidote can help me during my depressed time, help me during my lonely time, help me even when my bed is so cold, so hard, and can't sleep. And that feeling able to help me to forget about it and have a nice sleep. And any kind of dangers or fears comes into your mind, and that feeling just naturally overtake the rest of the other unnecessary feelings, and that feeling lead me to all the rest of the other imprints or knowledge that you have in Dharma. It's like a trigger point. I label it as like a trigger point. The moment you trigger it, the rest of the thing is taken care. And you just need to know that the rest of the process may be very complicated, require much concentration, much study, much meditation, or whatever. But the trigger point is just one single switch. So simple, but it's so spontaneous. As long as you can handle that trigger point, rest is taken care. And that particular trigger point I regard as my inner guru. And that inner guru can be used even at the time of dying, even at the border at the clear light mind. And that can be used even at earlier stage, the moment when we start to have the very intense, the experience of the death process, including the dissolution of all the other dissolutions, including the elemental dissolutions, because they are fear, they are hallucination of fear, they are physical discomforts, pains, mental agitations, delusions that arise. And this particular feeling intervene our mind and keep us continue to remain in the imprint of all the virtues. It's kind of like the moment switch on, the light always remain lit. Did I say lit? Lit. Light. See? So it can able to lead all the way to the clear light mind. And that, at the moment of the clear light mind, the clear light mind itself is the natural process. And during that period, we able to have one dedicated virtuous thought, and that may able to pass the continuation to the intermediate mind. And the intermediate mind is exactly like the baby's mind. And during 49 days, or during 7 days, or 1 day that you remain in intermediate state, that particular seed, the virtuous mind, can able to lead or lead rest of the other virtuous thoughts up to the entire three kayas. That's how the great beings take opportunity to gain enlightenment within the intermediate state. But in order to trigger that, they require to stimulate the virtuous mind of the clear light mind. And for that, you need a virtuous thought or virtuous mind before that, which is during the process of the death process, the rest of the earlier process. And so that we can able to utilize the natural clear light mind to awaken the Buddha nature and become the Buddha. That's why many great masters they take opportunity using the natural process of clear light mind to actualize the three kayas of the Buddha and become Buddha within the intermediate state. Many gurus achieve that. If that is unable to do so, at least the virtuous continuation is there. Then, once the 49 days is over, the virtuous mind, which is the conditional cause to link your previous karma to the next rebirth, so that we can able to take rebirth as a human. And from there, again, we can proceed our practices in the virtuous, practices in the Dharma, and hopefully within that period that you can able to enlighten. And if not, you have to continue like that. So you see, so what is my inner guru? So that's the point, whether you go here, there. So while I'm introducing my inner guru, then from your side, you have to remember this, that for you, the inner guru can be anything, but you have to choose something that which is most familiar, most inspiring, and it need to be virtuous. It cannot be kind of like the joy or happiness is something that arises through attachment. But sometimes when you see your loved one, like your girlfriend, then you have a sense of comfort, sense of like your entire system is completely overwhelmed, completely controlled. The object of your what you call the desires, can be any object. Entire your system is like totally taken over by that feeling, by that kind of like a grasping, and can be very joyful, can be very intense, can last long time, can last even without food, drink, sleep. When you fall in love, I never really fell in love, but I mean, you may know, that you can even commit that I can die for you. I learned all this from movie, Hindi movie. I can die for you. They can cut their hands and they feel like no pain, like feel bliss in the name of your loved one. I mean, not love, your attachment, the object of your attachment can be boy, can be girl, can be watch, can be anything. Like your entire world is about that, and you don't feel any sickness, any pain, nothing, completely joy. You see, you need that kind of intervention, but have to make sure it is not initiated by any form of delusion. Otherwise, there's a danger of mixing. And the feeling is almost the same. In order to intervene entire your system, you need that kind of feeling. And that you can obtain through when you fell in love, the young one, when you fell in love, you don't hear anything else except that. Like completely, your world is like completely occupied. There's no hunger, there's no thirst, it doesn't require sleep, and you're completely in bliss. It's like the picture is like 24 hours hanging around here, and you wish that it hang around here all the time. You see the power, the imprint, how much it can live in your heart. The power, the imprint, when you have that kind of intense. That kind of what you call intervention in your mind, how intense the imprint can ever to live in your continuation of mind, and that can be so helpful that it can ever to even remember when in the most difficult time, even at the time of death. But if you choose the deluded one, yes, your girlfriend may be the first figure that you remember at the time of death. Desire, on case, can be completely disaster. You see, so it had to be overwhelmed by love, the unconditional love, compassion, devotion, inspiration. Yes, but not by desirous love, not by anger, not by hatred. Basically, not by any of the non-virtuous mind. Otherwise, you can have any kind of scenario or figure. It can be just Mother Tara's eye. It's so attractive that it just completely like drawn you into the enlightenment world, and that leads you to the rest of the other virtuous mind, the virtuous understandings, or initiate for you to even explore further into virtues. And through that experience, you may have sense of feeling that how wonderful, whenever you think of this Tara's eye, like just bring the peace, just bring happiness, and just that reminds you of your guru, that reminds you of your dharma, that reminds you of any of virtues taught, and that protect you from doing wrong things, that protect you from getting angry when somebody trigger you, and that protect you from doing any of the wrong things. And that particular feeling can be your inner guru, or it can be one single word of your guru's teaching, or one single act of your guru. That's something that you can remember forever. Or it could be one line of scripture that you ever seen and that inspire you, that somehow trigger your consciousness, to bring inspiration into all the Dharma practices or the virtues. That could be your inner guru. Or it could be just a one gleam of your guru's face. For many Tibetans, their inner guru is Histon Dalai Lama's name, or Histon Dalai Lama's just a face, or just his picture. The moment at the time of dying Dalai Lama, perfect. It's so engrossed, so profound, and nothing can intervene that devotion, that inspiration, that faith. We need something there, and that you can call as an inner guru. So for me, what is my inner guru? When I was, I think age of 11 maybe, that happened. This incident happened in a monastery in Nepal, in Kopan. I was living in the main gomba where all the other lamas live, Lama Sopa Rinpoche and my late guru, this Lama Kunsho, and some other lamas. So I always get opportunity to serve drinks and help the cook to bring like the tea or water, whatever. And in particular, at Lama Sopa Rinpoche, he don't sleep at night. Excuse me. So around 11 o'clock or morning to 3 o'clock, if possible, I try to bring like a warm water or tea, etc. So whenever Rinpoche's like eyes open and he sees my bare feet, and that could be around November or December, which could be very cold, and always a little kid, very skinny and run up and down but bare feet. So one day he need to leave from overseas, and he had to leave from monastery, I think around morning 3 o'clock, which is the coldest period. So his attendants, bring all the luggage, put in the car, and I had to run up to help Rinpoche's Jola, Rinpoche's bag, the red bag, just to bring. And he's coming out with fully dressed and wear shoes, come out, and immediately he saw me. He take out his shoes, and he said, "Where?" So I said, "No. I mean, my feet also quite small. Rinpoche's feet also quite small, but my feet is extremely small." So he says, "Where?" So I said, "No. So he said, "Where? It's for you. The gesture, the kindness, the sincerity. I'm just 11 years old then. I don't know much Dharma or nothing. Just playful monk. But his expression and his softness, he said, for you. Where? He said, where? He didn't say that. And I can remember so clearly even now, like the way he take out his shoes, and as if like he's just bringing the shoes right in front of my feet, with so much concern, so much care, just because of you're getting cold, like that kind. So after that I had to wear. But sense of, in that particular moment, sense of, you call blessing, sense of love, sense of protection, sense of inspiration, sense of devotion, so-called as Dharma, even though I don't understand. Sense of wanting to practice Dharma, become like that particular guru, even though I don't know how to go about it. I didn't learn anything yet, but so much eager urge, and most of all, the feel of, so-called like the selfless compassion, love, caring, all the wonderful things, just comes in my mind. And after that, there's one feeling there. It's so peaceful, so wonderful, blissful, as if like you have no worries at all, as if like how to say, we don't know about Pure and whatever. It's like you are in somewhere different world. You see, and that particular feeling I took as my inner guru. Whenever I feel lonely, initial time, I need to think. You learn, you contemplate, like that. Initial time, I need to contemplate in order to save me from loneliness, fear, etc. So one example, One day I had to go and meet my auntie in Kathmandu. And I had to return back. Somehow I didn't get the bus on time, and it was after 6 o'clock. And during that period, by 6 o'clock already become very dark. And on the way to monastery, there's a lot of big bamboo trees. And from people, they always hear that wherever there's bamboo sound, right? Whenever it's a ghost, it's a cha cha cha, it's a ghost always, and all the ghosts are hiding there. That kind of all sort of brainwash. So there's a fear, as if like ghost is chasing after me, like shuk, 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 shuk. So you run faster. Somehow, actually, it's your own feet sound, but as if somebody is chasing you, the ghost is chasing you. So I apply this particular feeling completely. All those fear, just naturally, without any application, reasoning, just boom, finish, gone. And even though it's dark, I feel like there's light on the road. There's no light, but I feel like there's light on the road. And after that, naturally, start to chant Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, Om Mani, or some kind of other mantras and some prayers, and start to like sing song, like so happy. Completely, that trigger point, that particular feeling lead me for my verbal, from my mouth, chant mantra without control. In my mind, all the beautiful things, all the virtuous things coming in, and I'm walking gently, not running fearfully. You see, it saved me immediately then. But at that time, if you ask me to meditate emptiness, I won't able to handle, for me. But if you are a long-time practitioner, good practitioner, yes, that's the best. But I'm talking about me, the weak one, the immature practitioner, the beginner. And I also have these karmic consequences of can be die anytime, but I need something to protect me, you see. So this saved me. So then there's many other stories I apply this. So when I was in Perth for the past 3.5 years, one day there's a storm coming in. And can be a very scary sound, and outside was some, like small bars or break. The sound of like bah, when you are alone and you have one little boy sleeping next door, can be quite a scary feeling. Maybe window breaks. And also sometimes you need to check in your pocket whether you got $1 million or just few dollars. If you have $1 million, never mind. But maybe a few dollars, if something goes wrong, what's going to happen? You may have all sort of worries, But worse than that, around midnight, that the storm carry on for some time. Then it's over midnight. It's a sense of very cold. The bed is, not that hard, but I felt, because of all the atmosphere, made me feel very hard. And the blanket is okay, fine, but made me feel it's very thin and it's not enough. It's like very cold feeling. And everything is down. The fear is interfering you. And because of that, you can't sleep. And because of that, delusions start to arise, like such as fear, worries, and etc., etc. Immediately. Before my mind exaggerate, my hallucinated mind exaggerate all the nonsense, this inner guru intervened and lead me into a wonderful, some of the teachings from Lamrim or Lojong or whatever, and the gurus are like kind of like talking to you. It's not, I'm not crazy, but it's like all the things is like comes into you. All the good things comes into you, and somehow you feel like the bed suddenly feel warmer, it suddenly feel softer, and you start to fall asleep. And the day passes, and tomorrow is a bright day. You see? So now, it doesn't require any effort, and it just comes in. And it leads me to all the rest of the other virtuous thoughts. And if I'm dying tomorrow, with a natural process, not accident, to the natural process, I would definitely use this. And hopefully this will able to remind me whatever understanding you have in emptiness, maybe later part, somewhere at the clear light, or maybe in the intermediate state, or wherever it's possible. But at the beginning point, I won't able to handle the rest of the other things, because I know when the death comes, disaster comes to you. I won't be able to handle any of the other profound teachings. But I need a trigger point for me to lead to those profound teachings which I have learned for so many years. I need one trigger point. You see? So this is beneficial for me. If there are any beginners you feel is something necessary, then yeah, you go and find out what is your inner guru. And in the earlier stage, you may find so many options. You try, but don't try for too long, because impermanent, death, uncertain. We need to prepare fast, you know. So you can, after trying so many options, then you try to choose one, and try to apply into practices. And the best time to apply is at the time of sleeping, because the process of death and process of sleeping is exactly the same. It's just a matter of the intensity, but the process is the same. Like from the awake, dissolve all the outer gross consciousness. Then it does in fact lead to the clear light. Then it take to the dream. Then come to the awake, like the three guys, the practice of three guys. And those of you who are into high sweet tantric practices, then you can also use the three kaya practice. If you feel so difficult about using so many arms, so many faces of the deity, and sometimes it can be quite effective to use the image of the bird eye image, you call it, isn't it? Boom, you just grab one thing. It could be in the form of light. It could be in the form of just the eye. Even though in the teaching, in the text says that you have to visualize entire arm, entire face, entire figures, entire mandala. Complicated. I won't able to handle. You may able to handle, but not me. I can't. Now also I can't. When I'm weak, how I'm going to handle? You see? So, but that's very profound, and that's perfect practice, and that is very powerful practice, deity yoga. So you need something. And that advice I received from late Geshe Tenzin at the time of he was passing away. There's one senior Geshe called Geshe Kechok. He's much more senior in age, and and senior in their monks vows, etc. But at the time of Geshe Tenzin dying, when he was on the bed, in fact, it's already outside, like as if like he's going to die within few hours. So this Geshe came and said, what is the most easiest, effective, simple that we can, the deity yoga practice that you can use this stage, meaning before that Geshe Tenzin already said, I'm experiencing mirage, which is already in the process of that process experiences. And this Geshe came after that. And this Geshe asked a very, very straightforward question: what kind of deity yoga practice is most effective in this time? And Geshe says that you may not be able to handle many things, but like image of a bird eye. And it can be in the light form, or it can be any form. But it's good to be something bright, because it's like that kind of situation, you feel very dim, like everything is like down. So something brighter. So he said that from there, and that, he said, that is, that time, talking about Vajrayogini, he said, that is Vajrayogini. That is Vajrayogini's pure land. That is the state of Vajrayogini's enlightenment. Just hold on to it. That's it. So that means as long as you can hold on to it, the rest will be taken care. I mean, of course, if you can go through all the extensive process, if you're able to, why not? But that's the simplest way, because this Geshe asked what's the simple, easiest way. And I find it's very practical. And it's very practical. See? Yeah. Did I answer the question? This inner guru concept, it can be very effective for depression. People who have depression, it can be very effective. I don't know. I also try to attack by depression. I have no idea. But sometimes you feel, very down and sense of loss, sense of like no support, that kind of feelings. Sometimes so many things going, so many things happening, and you feel like you cannot handle, like that kind of thing. Maybe starting point of depression. I don't know. And when I apply this inner guru concept, it works for me. It may work for you too. And just for the past, during my tour, some of the students, they try to use that to tackle their depression, and it says it's working. It's working, In the Vajrayana Institute, one very charming Tibetan cook, he went through quite drastic time of he said depression. So I've shared this. He took me to CBD to Myers to buy my shaver. So in the bus, so he was talking about his depression and this and that. He says that he said, I don't know how to handle. So I shared a little bit about this, and that night he applied, because he said within one day, his mood go up and down, and can be very, very painful, So he applied that, and next day he says, it's working. So I said, working, but not only for one day, you have to continue and until you are completely cured, So that's why some of you, if you are not really into spiritual way, never mind. But you can find your inner guru. And inner guru, even you feel difficult to label the term guru, then you just say the antidote for whatever problem, and you can find something from something which is inspirational. Then you can use that, to tackle the depressions or loneliness, etc. Because this is one of the biggest problem happening in the world. So you need some kind of antidote within, so therefore, and this is very helpful because this inner guru concept able to keep us going in our spiritual progress. Otherwise, if your guru don't talk to you, your spiritual practice drop. It's like stock market. If your guru don't send email to you, you get agitated. You feel lonely. And if you don't see your guru time to time, you feel you are left out. It's such a negative. We shouldn't have that. And as long as you have this inner guru concept, as far as concerned wisdom-wise, you can study through books. You can study through many channels. As I said, the guru's manifestations can be anybody. Your teacher is your guru's manifestation. Your teacher is Buddha's manifestation. And guru is not something that must always meet. Guru is not something that always need to talk. Guru is not something that you always need to receive all the teaching, all the initiations. No. Our ultimate guru is Shakyamuni Buddha, isn't it? As a Buddhist, he is always our root guru. He is the root guru. And all the other so-called, we call root guru, they are emanation of Shakyamuni Buddha. They are the emanation. So our ultimate guru is Shakyamuni Buddha, but we never met him in person. We never received teaching directly from him. But we can learn so much so much of his teachings, and we're able to attain state of his enlightenment through his emanations, which are the teachers, which are the Dharma brothers, sisters. Not necessarily somebody have to face towards you like this, talk, not necessarily. Could be sitting just right behind you. Could be your husband, could be your children, could be your neighbor, could be your apple tree, could be your dog, could be your cat. Yeah. All surrounding is your guru's emanation. And if you have opportunity, if guru is coming in your city, of course, don't put too much effort to have an appointment. Sometimes can be very disappointing. They can be busier than you sometimes. So if you get opportunity, meet. If you don't get opportunity, never mind. As long as you can receive the teaching, that's it. That's what you want. Yeah. You have to be very flexible in this area. Otherwise, the guru theory can be very problematic, even though it is one of the most crucial, one of the most needed for our spiritual practices. But if you don't know how to adjust in your way of relying on the guru, can be tough. And sometimes guru, maybe what you call this, suddenly you meet somebody and you gain some kind of inspiration and you immediately make commitment to receive some initiations, or you just make the commitment of guru-disciple relationship, and next morning and you see all the unnecessary events, and can be very disturbing. Such thing also could happen. So that's why we always have guru, which is Guru Shakyamuni Buddha. But when we look for human, the manifested human guru, and we shouldn't rush. We never should rush. We should listen, teachings, discussions, as many as possible from many teachers. Wonderful. But you shouldn't rush to commit the guru-disciple relationship. Once you commit, then guru appear to be like a street dog. Also, you have to able to view him as a real Buddha there. You see. Otherwise, no need to commit. And you cannot feel, I don't have guru. We always have guru. Shakyamuni Buddha is our guru. Always has been, always will be. So you see. And most important thing, study Dharma, learn Dharma, apply into our daily life. And that's the most important. That's what our Guru Shakyamuni Buddha want us to do. If you want to be a good Buddhist, I think this is the right path. Don't be the one who chase after guru, chase after physical guru. If you chase after physical guru, if you rely too much on physical guru, then when your root guru pass away, when your root guru is not available time with you, then if somebody could be nonsense like me and come here, then you start to rely on me. All went wrong. Maybe and sometime later, maybe another exciting man comes, maybe you will start to devote him. So it's I use example these days. Searching guru and relying on guru is not like a chasing after iPhone. iPhone 3, iPhone 4, iPhone 6, iPhone 5. Whenever new model come, like the features are can be quite exciting every time. And you forget about it, then you go for the new one. So in spiritual path, especially searching for guru, it doesn't work this way. You have to be very stubborn on it. Like Asanga took 12 years to able to find his guru. Never mind. As long as you practice, one day your enlightenment is there. You see? And sometimes people may think initiation is required for enlightenment. But initiation, in fact, very powerful, but then again, if you are ripened disciple, means if you are fully matured in spirituality, like the wisdom, the knowledge that you learn from Lamrim, Lojong, etc., or the Sutra and Tantra. If you're fully matured, the initiation is like kind of like a trigger button, done. But initiation is not the, even though for the Tantra it says like a key, like the opener, but for overall spiritual development, in fact, initiation is something that it comes much later. And if you have practiced so much on three principal aspects of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, emptiness, and the stages of Lamrim, and you have all the realizations, and you're going to become Buddha maybe 1 minute later, and maybe 30 seconds time you get initiated, done. But in many people's mind, you need to receive the initiation as the whole thing, and Lamrim and rest of the process is like kind of like a by the way. We miss the road. So I think the beginner like me, I think very important to know. Otherwise, otherwise our life, our precious human rebirth, can be completely wasted. So that shouldn't happen, I think. So this is just I thought to share. Yeah, and again, when we call about Dharma, practicing Dharma, many people has the different way of perceiving so-called as practicing Dharma. And some people believe practicing Dharma is to receive initiation done. Even among our Tibetan community, I mean, sometimes, especially in earlier time, either the practice of Dharma is like kind of monk's responsibility, the audience responsibility, and the rest, our enlightenment will attain by reciting Om Mani Padme Hum millions and millions of times. So, I mean, His Holiness often said that Dharma is for everybody. And sometimes we also look for initiations, but not for the teaching. It also happens, even today's time, not only in Tibet, but also in the Chinese communities, even in the West. And once you receive initiation, that's ultimate, done. And you also start to, and most of the time, the misconception or the result, if you are not fully prepared, after we receive initiation, in the realization, exact realization what we get is ego. They are newcomer. I have initiation. I have this initiation, I have that initiation, I have this initiation. And I received that initiation, somebody who sit on how many feet high throne. And it's kind of a contribution to your ego. Very dangerous. It happens. We have to watch ourselves. It happens. But if you have the basis of the fundamental teachings or the practices, when you receive initiation, you become the humblest person. You become the humblest practitioner. That you can speak through your actions, and sometimes action also can be pretended, but most of all, you yourself will know how humble you are. Then that itself is kind of stages of the realization or the benefit that we receive, receiving those great practices or initiations. Sometimes, I used to feel, I got this initiation, that initiation, as if like my enlightenment is just next door. And sometimes people come and ask, I think I've already realized in emptiness long time ago, because my guru said that I can receive this initiation, means already higher than all the common paths. People do have this kind of concept. And it could be, you yourself could be the victim also if we don't study properly or analyze properly. If that happened, completely wasted. And if we are in that kind of situation, how to fulfill the perfect samaya? Then again, by receiving initiation, if we cannot fulfill the samaya, there are consequences. See, so again, no need to rush for initiation. If you are ready for enlightenment, I mean, if you are, let's say, all the realizations is gained, and the only one requirement is become obstacle for you to obtain enlightenment within 1 minute, Buddha will manifest into anybody and will grant you the initiation. Done. So you just have to believe that. In many cases, we have to receive initiation now because this Lama may not come here. Or this master maybe may pass away so that I may lose the opportunity. Or because I'm in this city, I must grab it. That shouldn't be the reason. The reason should be whether I'm ready or not, whether I can fulfill the commitment or not. If you can do so, then yes, Tantra is one of the most powerful part that provides, one life within one lifetime enlightenment, within one cushion enlightenment. You see, so Dharma means che, in Tibetan che. Che in fact is also can say che, means fix or transform. So the whole purpose of the practicing Dharma, the motivation itself is to fix, to change. Fix what? Fix our disturbed mind, fix our deluded mind, fix our negative emotional mind to a positive, to a virtues. As long as we can do that, we are practicing perfectly. As long as we, no matter how long we engage in practice, but we cannot see the impact of changes in our mind from negative to a virtue, from disturbance to a peace, then basically Dharma didn't help you. Means you didn't really practice Dharma. So the whole meaning of Dharma is fix, transform, change, or fix our mind. Not the appearance, our thought, our mind. As long as we can do that, we are practicing Dharma. Okay, I think I said too much. You want to stop here or you? Okay.
I want to know whether the inner guru is the same as Buddha nature.
No.
Okay.
Buddha nature itself you can also use as an inner guru, but that very difficult to recognize, very difficult to awaken. So it's something is not awakened, very difficult to use it. Eventually you may discover. Then of course that is a state of enlightenment. That is a state of all the goodness, and in fact the state of Buddha is not somewhere out of Tasmania. The state of Buddha is right within. As long as our Buddha nature is fully awakened, and that's it. Yeah.
Geshe, with your switch, do you ever find you wear it out? Like
Wear it out.
That maybe it gets. I understand through repetition it should get stronger in a way, but also maybe it can get weaker if maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it doesn't work one time and then get a bit.
Yeah, I think initially possible it may wear out sometime, but then over the time, I think for me it works in every aspect. I applied that even at the time of when my guru passed away, and he is like for me, my father, my mother, everything basically. Not because of guru devotion. It's just because this person is everything for me. And you lose somebody who's everything for me. Of course, the sadness, difficulties is there, but then just this thing helped me, and this thing helped me to move on. You see, and yeah, even recently, always it just comes in now. It become a natural process. Because I've been using that for a long time, since the age of 11. And it's quite simple, silly thing, but maybe it works for me. So that's why I think I can say I'm quite happy person.
You mentioned about
before going to sleep, thinking of positive things. So would you suggest thinking of gratitude for things that have happened during the day or any other
Yeah.
suggestions?
Why not? Yeah, it's gratitude is positive. Why not? Yeah. Anything brings some peace and calmness and some delightfulness. It's so important. You know. When I talk about this inner guru, very simple kind of thing that what I'm using. I'm not discouraging. Don't meditate on emptiness. I give example of this practitioner in Blue Mountain, and it is like Geshe Lama Konsho, like all the great lamas. They use maybe those profound meditations because they have practiced for so long, maybe many lifetimes, and even this lifetime, like the impact on them is so strong, if you are able to use it. But I'm just talking based on my own ability. When weak person like me, I cannot cope. I have to find some simpler solution. So I found this, and I'm just sharing with you, if in case it's useful. Yeah. Okay. We stop here. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we can just dedicate. Dedicate a minute. Chanju Semjo Rinpoche, Maje Banam Jejuji, Javani Bameba, Kone Gondo Pevara Sho, Tony Dawa Rinpoche, Maje Banam Jejuji, Javani Bamebaya, Kone Gondo Pevara Sho, Rimi Dawa Rinpoche, Maje Banam Jejuji, Javani Bamebaya, Kone Gondo Pevara Sho. So having this short Dhamma discussion, Dhamma sharing, Dhamma discussion, it's definite that we have accumulated so much positive energy, good karma, collectively and in individual level. So we dedicate for individuals your good health, long life, and also dedicate for your loved ones, good health, long life, prosperity, and whatever wishes that they may have, actualize instantly without delaying, And also, since such a wonderful session is happening in this Chag Tong Chen Tong Center, and we dedicate this merit for Chag Tong Chen Tong Center to obtain, big land and bigger place where we can accommodate all the facilities for the preservation of Buddha Dharma and for the benefit of other sentient beings. So, and also dedicate this merit to actualize as fast as possible, especially while so many seniors are there, so many established Dharma practitioners are there, and we have to do something for the new generations or newcomers, to have a very comfortable place for them to relate to Dharma, practice Dharma, to retreats, and even individual who wish to become Sangha. The Sanghas is very important, community level to help them, to take care of them, to dedicate their life to stay as a nun, stay as a monk is a great virtue. It's a great sacrifices and great renunciation. And not all the sanghas, have the physical or mental strength to take care of themselves. So it is a responsibility from the society to provide a very, very protected place. So this center also can able to provide such kind of facilities. We also dedicate merit so that more sanghas, more people can dedicate to become sangha. Then, based on the Vinaya teaching, you know, to determine whether the place or the country or the particular monastery or whatever, whether that place, whether that exists Dharma or not is dependent on whether there is existence of the Sangha community or not. You know, the whole reason is because in order to exist Dharma, it need to have the existence of the Vinaya. So the Vinaya practiced by the Sangha, you know. So therefore, it is so important, you know, more Sanghas, more people inspired to be Sangha. But in order to do that, you know, someone need to facilitate, you know. So I think the centers are in a good position to facilitate that. So then here, we dedicate the merit for that. And also, it is so important to have so many inspirational figures, you know, in order to share Dharma, in order to be the cause to ripen the karma within other sentient beings who have not met Dharma. And those inspirational figures can be the holy objects, like statues, the stupas. So statues, the stupas, relics, including the appearance of the Sangha. So therefore, then again, we dedicate this merit for Chag Tong Chen Tong Center to have a huge land and have a huge or many holy objects, you know, where even in the manner of tourists, you know, people come there and make connection to Dharma through holy objects like stupas, statues. You know, it is so important. So some people do misunderstand why Lama Zopa want to build such a huge Maitreya statue. Why you don't feed food to beggars? You know, it is so important to feed food to the beggars, but it is as equal crucial for the preservation of Buddha Dharma. We need such kind of monuments, you know, and it's something that can last generation to generation. You know, it can be a recognition of the existence of Buddhism, you know, and eventually can able to inspire the sentient beings to engage into this study and contemplation and meditation practices. You know, we need again something like that. We need some trigger point, you know, and the holy objects. And the holy object have to be beautiful, not have to be as beautiful as possible, you know, as attractive as possible. For the pure view of practitioner, those who have high merit, of course, whatever image you make, as long as the Buddha's image, they see entire qualities of Buddha, and Buddha's quality, there's no defect. But then, as an ordinary person like me, so much obscuration, and we need vividly that our naked eye can see the beauty image. So therefore, the holy object, or whatever you build, you know, have to make as beautiful, as attractive as possible. Then, even the center, you know, once you have a big land, then you can have a lot of flowers, you know, like bread flags, flowers, you know. Every single thing, every single space that you can make an opportunity to make extensive offerings. The more the holy object there, the more the flower you plant, amazing merit, unbelievable merit. You see, then like flowers and beautiful trees, and it is also an attraction to the newcomers, but at the same time it becomes extensive offering, and that is the trigger point for people to feel happy. You know, when you see, for me, when I see flower, I feel very happy. You know, so like that. You know, so most people feel very happy when they see flowers. You know, and when they see beautiful monument. I've been to some of the cathedral in Europe. Oh, beautiful! You feel so uplifted, so beautiful, amazing. And people just go there, and naturally you feel connected somehow, some way. And Buddhists need that. And we have limited. You know, I mean, if you can afford to go to Tibet, wonderful, but not many people can afford to go all the way to Tibet. Tibet got beautiful, amazing holy objects. But now, in the free Western world, we need to have all those, you know. So I see so important. So the reason of Gyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche putting so much effort to build this Maitreya project is to bring more sentient beings into connection with Buddha Dharma, and it's very important. So as long as sentient beings accumulate merit by connecting with Buddha Dharma, then we don't have to worry about being born as a beggar, and don't need to even worry about, you know, conflicting whether to feed to the beggar or build the statue, you know, you see. So like that. Then, yeah, and also I felt very happy and feel very happy that, you know, there's some Tibetans here, you know, coming connect to the center. I think this is very important to live as a family. You know, they came from so far, and and this is Tibetan Buddhism. You know, naturally there's a connection, and some more. You know, all of us take refuge under His Holiness Dalai Lama, and you have some kind of like a place where everybody, you know, follow His Holiness advice and, you know, make connection to His Holiness, and even for the children to, you know, go in a community level to establish even stronger connection to His Holiness Dalai Lama, for the Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism, which is so crucial. So I see different, you know, like different faces, different nationalities. I know, especially Tibetans are here. I feel it's unbelievable. It's important. Some of our APMD center, you know, they offer great service to the Tibetan community. And I remember one story. I hope it's not taking too long. Gyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche set up one center in Bangalore, in India, and during the first year when we were looking for the place, and, you know, I was involved there. And one of the reasons Rinpoche set up a center in Bangalore, even though huge monastics institution 5 hours away, you know, if they want to learn, they want to practice Buddha Dharma, just drive 5 hours. But in the middle of the city, so difficult to get place to have a center, but had to put so much effort. And one of the main reasons is that His Holiness advised that it's so important, the Tibetan and the youngsters, new generations, it's very important to engage in Dharma learnings, you know, and because of that particular instruction or inspiration, Gyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche sees so necessary to set up a center in Bangalore. So there are Tibetan youths, you know, who go to university, and we try to engage some Dharma activities. And also one of the center in America, there's a lot of senior Tibetans, you know, every time to time, whenever they wish to recite Om Mani Padme Hum together, so they come to the center and they recite there. Sometimes they wish to recite sutra, you know. Sometimes the community level, when in a group, you know, come together, it feels good. It's more inspirational. So so like 30, 40 of Tibetan mothers and uncles and fathers, they get together. Then after that, they in the kitchen, they make like momo, you know. Oh, we're going to have momo later. So like, you know, they cook, you know, and like there's so much kind of like feel of Tibet. And because we are connected to Tibetan Buddhism, when there is an involvement of a Tibetan own people into the center, sometimes the taste can be very, very delicious. It can be very, very special. So what I'm saying is there are a few Tibetan peoples are here, and in particularly Sonamla is you know, providing Dharma teachings, and how wonderful, you know. So I was very, very happy that it's all happening, and I hope maybe more and more Tibetan come here and you know, and yeah, the bonding able to grow, become bigger. So like that. So then Anila, Anila Lingzi. I will say Lingzi. Venerable, for many years, I mean, whole life dedicated to Buddha Dharma from the childhood, even from the parents' time, dedicated for Tibetan Buddhism, so much connection and so much dedication and so much service to the center, So, and Chag Tong Chen Tong is, like Lama Zopa Rinpoche always say, FPMD is only growing now growing, even though it's 40 over years established, but it says starting now. So similarly here, it's kind of starting, you see. So Anila, I think, require a lot of help from everybody, moral help, whatever help. You're doing your best, but I think in order for us to have a very established, society, I think everybody's effort is needed, and I think it is for good cause. I think how wonderful. So I guess it's also meaningful to everybody come together and be more active in the center's program, and especially looking for a better place. So we also dedicate the merit for that. And Anila, please live long and live healthy, and continue to represent Rinpoche and continue to, yes, I just rejoice. And at the same time, there's so many teachers and so many senior members and also some newcomers. So I just want to say from the depth of my heart and on behalf of Rinpoche, I would like to say thank you so much, and I rejoice, and thank you for everything. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, this is the best part.
Yes.
Hey!
And off they go.